Tony, and I'm one of the leaders here at Christian Life Church in Hereford. And it's great to have you with us this morning, wherever you're watching from, whether you're at home, whether you're watching with others. It's just great to be together at this time. And I just want to say the first thing is that wherever you are, you must by now be familiar with the key phrases essential services and key workers. Services that are deemed essential to keep our lives going, to keep our communities going, to keep our country going. And obviously those key workers, those people who have tirelessly worked day in, day out to keep those services going for us. And so really right at the start of this message, I'd just like to thank you all. You know who you are. There are too many to list. But just a huge thank you for your continued efforts in everything that you do for us at this time. However, we also need to understand that even in our personal faith, there are also essential services. Things we just cannot do without that will help us to have a strong, growing and meaningful faith in Jesus Christ that touches others and changes their lives. Now, Tim reminded us last week in his message of one of those essential services, as it were, and that was the need to be God-centered, the need to have God at the center of our daily Christian walk. And he used the life stories of two biblical figures, Gideon and Elijah, reminding us that as a Christian, we need to place God in the center of everything that we do in order to get us through the situations we face every day. And so this morning I want to remind us of another key service, another essential service for our faith. And that is being community together. As many of you know, we have 4 key pillars upon which we look to build this CLC community, this CLC family. And they are God-centered, being a people that have God at the center of their lives, that we are a connected people, that we are connected with each other, that we are growing in our faith, growing in our walk with Jesus Christ, and that we're reaching out to others with the good news of the gospel. Now, as I said, this morning I want to look at that key essential service of connection, that pillar of connection, the need to be a loving community of believers. Now, within our core values, we've written a phrase that we believe captures our vision for this part of our community. And it says this, it says we are called to community. That is part of our calling. When we become a Christian, we are called to community, to express our faith together. And I just want to read what we have written, that paragraph. It's on our website. This is what it says about community. We see a church that is an inclusive community of people from all generations and cultures, connected through their faith in Jesus Christ. In this community, people from every walk of life and background can experience love and restoration and are seen as important and are fully committed to play their part and bring their individual gifting to benefit the whole. So to start, I want to ask you a question. What has changed in the way you live your life as a result of lockdown? What habits, good or bad, have now come into your life that weren't there before? As we try and come to terms with this new normal, what will look different to your life before the pandemic and after the pandemic, as we try to return to some sense of normality? See, for many of us, during quarantine, it's given us the time to reflect on life, to reflect on our lives and the way we live those lives. And in a recent article that I read, it listed some of the lifestyle habits, some of those things in people's lives that they said they would like to change or adopt once we come out of lockdown. And here are some of the key things that they said. Spending less on stuff. Slowing down and putting less pressure on ourselves. Prioritizing family and friends. Exercising daily. Cooking and baking more. Spending more time enjoying nature. Working more from home. Those are just some of the key changes that a number of people in this survey mentioned. And those are really great, but there are also some negative habits, and I'm sure some of us have picked up some not so good habits. Eating too much, too often. Drinking more, alcohol. Not working out with John Wicks. Sorry, that's one of mine. Okay. And losing sense of routine. You know, I heard that people now get up much later and go to bed much later than they ever used to. So whether we've got good habits as a result of lockdown or bad habits, the question is, what habits will we continue once we get back to some sense of normality? You see, no matter whatever habits we have, no matter how small they may appear, they can and often do have huge implications for our lives. And the same can be said of our spiritual habits as well. These so-called keystone habits will impact the way we live and the outcomes we face as a result. There's a guy called Charles Duhigg. He's a self-help guru, and he called these keystone habits this. He said about them, he said they are small changes or habits that people introduce into their routines that unintentionally carry over into other aspects of their lives. So here's an example of a keystone habit. Having a family meal together every day with your children. Now, apparently, studies have shown that doing this leads to, parents, you're going to love this, better homework skills, higher grades, greater emotional control, more confidence, all through the keystone habit of eating together once a day. Small habits can have big consequences. Here's another one for you. Making your bed every day. This has been shown to lead to increased productivity, a greater sense of well-being, and better budgeting skills. I bet you never realized that just making your bed could have such a big impact on other life skills. Habits may feel small, but they are not significant in their influence. So this morning, I really want to encourage you to look again at the habits needed to build and to maintain our CLC family, our CLC community. For many months, we've not been able to meet together in the flesh. We've not been able to hug one another, to share life together over food, to laugh together, to cry together, to grieve together, to hope together. And whilst Zoom has been brilliant and really, really good and helpful, it cannot replace the need to be together in person, simply because that's what we were meant to do. Living in isolation is not good. More and more surveys are coming out showing the negative impact of quarantine on our mental health. That separating people from their friends, their families, and even society can have a detrimental effect on well-being and mental health. Increased anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, confusion, and anger, to name but a few things. We were made to be together. That's how we're wired. That's how we were created. God said himself, it is not good for man to be alone. We were created to have relationships with God and with each other. Even God works in team. You've heard of the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. There's a team. There's relationship. There's fellowship between them. Jesus himself, in the 3.5 years of his ministry, he grew and developed a community of believers. He spent his time drawing people into relationship because that's what we are supposed to do. And he told his followers that the world would know that they were his disciples, not because of their theology, but because of their love for each other. Love that was to be lived out in community. Now, we've looked a while ago for some time at the book of Acts, the beginning of the church. And I want to look at Acts again, just the one first part of it, because at the birth of the church, this habit of community was born. And it says this, and it's in Acts 2, 42 to 47, it says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day, they continued to meet together in temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. They built a community of believers that met together, studied the word together, ate together, prayed together, broke bread together, gave as they saw need, laughed together, helped one another, worshipped together, all in their own homes, as well as in larger gatherings. Now, the Greek word for this is a word that some of you may know already called koinonia. And it appears 17 times in the New Testament. You see, koinonia is more than just friendship. It's a divinely deep, intimate relationship, a unity of believers and a unity between those believers and God through the Lord Jesus Christ. And so the habit of koinonia, the habit of this deep relationship is important because it characterizes what the church is all about. John, one of Jesus' followers, says that the whole purpose of the gospel, this good news of Jesus Christ, is to lead people to this koinonia relationship with each other and with God. So, as we start to come out of lockdown, as we start to ease and relax the rules and the regulations that are stopping us from meeting, let's develop keystone habits that help build real community of faith. Let's start to meet together in each other's homes, within government guidelines, of course. Let's get into the habit of meeting in our gardens, in our open spaces, in groups of up to 6 people, or in families, 2 families. Let's meet and pray together. Let's share communion together. Let's read the word together. Let's meet and encourage one another and find and meet the needs of those that we see. Let's get into the habit now of building one another up as we meet. You see, in the Bible, we're encouraged that when we do come together to bring a psalm, a hymn, a spiritual song, you see, that doesn't have to just be in the context of a large gathering in this building here where I'm sat today. We can do that as we meet in 2s and 3s. You see, Jesus promised that even when we gather in 2s and 3s, he will be in the midst of us when we call and gather in his name. He's promised his presence when we meet. Let's take him at his word. As Tim mentioned in a recent video, let's meet together on a Sunday and watch the online service. Let's connect together with that. Let's get into the habit of building one another up, praying for one another, blessing one another, bringing a word of encouragement or a word of wisdom. And when we start to meet here, when we start to meet in our larger gatherings again, which, by the way, we will be doing, we are looking right now at how we can do that, how we can best open up this building and allow larger gatherings. So please bear with us. We're looking at that together as a leadership so we can do it safely and effectively. And we know from the survey, over half of you want to do that in some shape or form. So please bear with us. But in the meantime, you can still meet in smaller groups. But when you come to a larger gathering and you've already got the habit of bringing and sharing, then we do that again. We'll do that here because those habits will have a lasting impact on the way we do life in the future. Within the CLC community, one area that's really important that helps us with this is our connect groups. They are an important way of building the CLC community. And again, I want to encourage you, group leaders, connect group leaders, groups, start to meet together as much as you can, again within social distancing and social gathering guidelines as laid out by the government. But if you're not in a group, can I urge you, find one. Find some people, join with them, spend time together, reach out and connect. If you need to know details of groups, speak to somebody in the leadership team, contact the office. There are details on our website and we can help you connect. You may just want to connect to one other family, get 2 families together. That's fine. It doesn't matter. In a way, it doesn't matter. Create your own group. But start to connect and start to have and bring life together. Become a faith community again. You weren't created to be alone. There are people within the CLC community called to connect with you. Let's break that habit that keeps us from not being connected. So right back at the beginning of my talk, I said that small habits can have big consequences. And as we develop the habit of koinonia, here are some ways in which that habit will influence the rest of our lives. All of these are taken from the Bible, and I can give you scripture for every single one of them. I'm just going to list some of the consequences of koinonia, the habit of meeting. You demonstrate a sincere love for Jesus. You receive the encouragement of living in harmony with others. You experience mutual acceptance among radically different people. You benefit from mutual instruction, encouragement, and correction. You gain opportunities for joy, comfort, unity, and peace. Wow, what a thing to have. You can find opportunity to lovingly serve others. You can receive God-given opportunities to develop patience, something I'm sure we could all do with more of. Certainly I can. You become aware of God-given opportunities to grow in kindness and forgiving others. You receive mutual encouragement and growth, one of our key pillars to grow in our faith, that comes from corporate worship before God. You demonstrate a reverence for Christ. You put yourself in God's pathway for cultivating spiritual growth. You gain opportunities to see God's answers to prayer, especially in the lives of others. You stir up the love and good works in others, and others can stir up love and good works in you. You can grow in humility. And finally, you make the gospel more visible to a dark world. The list goes on. Those are some of the benefits, all taken from the Bible, of what will happen when we meet in community, when we develop the habit of koinonia. So let's start developing that habit today. Let's get out there, connect, contact, and meet with others in our CLC family. And then we will start to see a church that is an inclusive community of people from all generations and cultures, connected through their faith in Jesus Christ. We will see a community of people from every walk of life and background experiencing love and restoration, that are seen as important and are fully committed to playing their part and bring their individual gifting to benefit the whole. Wow. That's the church I want to see. That's the church I want to be part of. I hope you do too. Guys, it's been great to speak to you this morning. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week. Be blessed as you get out, as you connect safely and securely. And so look forward to seeing you in the flesh at some point soon. God bless you. Goodbye.
Tony, how powerful it was today to listen to you talking about being together. I just want you, to make a little comment. Nice shirt, when you come together in such a way, you start thinking together and you think, blue and white shirt for a Sunday morning is great. So Johnny, you have a good taste for shirts. Well done. I'm just joking, of course, but it's just to encourage you to, when you walk together with friends, when you are building life together with friends, you start sharing life together and you start thinking alike, and you start, even if you don't think alike, you're going to start agreeing more and being together more. And it's always great to be together. Make an effort for it. It's sometimes you need to walk a second mile. Sometimes you need to do an extra effort. But if you are not alone, you're gonna get into places where you never thought you would be. I just want to encourage you. Find someone today. Send a message. Right now, when you finish, I'm gonna give you a challenge. You're gonna grab your mobile and you're gonna send a message to at least one friend. I want to challenge you, go further. Make it 5. But if you can, at least one friend, you're going to send a message and say, hey, friend, I was thinking of you this morning. I reminded you, and I just want to see how amazing you are. And let's grab a coffee anytime when we can. Let's get something to eat when we can. Can you do that? When we finish today, you're going to do this. You're going to grab your phone, you're going to grab your mobile, and you're going to send a message, a WhatsApp, I don't know, take a crazy selfie and you send to a friend, but do something. Send a message to a friend and say, hi, I'm here. Shall we do something together? Can I pray for you? Can I, do you have any prayer requests? I can pray for you during this week. Do something. Choose not to be alone. Okay? So I just want to remind you what we have still today. First of all, if you're watching this, if you're part of life of Christian Life Church, our family, you are invited to be part of this project, and you can make your donations, your contribution. So if you're part of this family, and even if you're not, but you want to support us somehow, you can go to the website to make your donation. And also, if you are on Church Online, you can find the place to download to make your donation. Just feel free if you feel to be part of this family. Okay. After here, we have our coffee. So prepare your coffee, prepare your mug. And not only I am the coolest dad, but also we as a family, we have the coolest dad ever, which is our God. So prepare your coffee. Let's hang out together. Let's talk and let's laugh together and maybe organize some risottos. If you know Tony, send him a message saying, Tony, can you send please also your good recipes of risotto? Maybe you can get together one day to make it. Okay. And later tonight, we have our prayer together. Don't miss it. Make the effort. I know it's Sunday evening, but I'm sure that it's better than watch television. I know it is better than watching television. It's coming together as a family, as a church, to pray together. So later tonight, 7 o'clock, the link, it has gone through our email, but also is on our Facebooks. Facebook account pages. So just check over there, and you can join us. Okay. Have an amazing Sunday. Have an amazing time with your family. Enjoy outside if you can, because it's sunny. With all the protection, of course, that you can do to protect your family, to protect your loved ones. But enjoy life. Life. I told my friend Ben today, we were talking, to know the life you have in you, the life I have in me, is the life of Christ. We don't have our own lives inside of us anymore. So make the most of it. Enjoy your life and enjoy your friends, and have an amazing week ahead. God bless you, and see you soon. I hope so. Bye bye.